Warning, this podcast contains Christmas!
Hello everyone, and welcome to the As Seen on TV podcast for The Flash, Season 3, Episode 9, The Present. I'm your host, Clio, and with me I have Dom and Nikki.
Hi.
Hello. The present actually is a...
Where's my present?
You don't get one. Your gift is the present.
Oh.
Hey, Cleo.
We have the same mug! Hello, Doctor Strange.
Wow, that is strange.
This episode title has multi-layers because it's people giving presents and it's happening in the present.
Wally got the best present.
He did. No question.
Hands down. I don't know. Iris may have gotten a really good present too. I don't know.
Yeah, Supergirl's apartment. What?
It might just be a redone Supergirl's apartment.
No, it is. It is.
I feel like I've seen that building before, and I thought it was on. I thought it was on Arrow personally.
No.
I thought that at first too, but the only apartment that would resemble it is the one that has stairs. So it wasn't that one.
Yeah, all they did was rearrange the kitchen area, and that's Supergirl's apartment.
Interesting.
Yep.
So we start the episode off with flashbacks of Julian.
Get it? Flashbacks
of Julian.
I'm kind of
digging
disappointed
up
in myself for that joke.
I know. Don't worry, I have a joke that I'm disappointed in myself for.
Okay, I can't wait.
It's coming up. So he digs up I forgot what the name was in the book that they looked at. It's like the Grammar-Star.
Yeah.
In the paper that Julian wrote. But it's actually the Philosopher's Stone.
That's what we've been calling it the whole time.
Yep.
Have we been?
Well,
Yeah,
I have been.
That was the first thing Dom said when
Oh.
we actually saw the stone in that one episode. Oh, it's a Philosopher's Stone.
Because
I
it
must have
was
been
like,
ignoring you.
well, no, because it was alchemy, and I was like,
No, I know. Yeah.
Philosopher's Stone. I go, that's what I've been calling it since he showed it to us.
Yeah. So, and they were explaining it was the Philosopher's Stone. I was like, oh, it's the Philosopher's Stone. This is a very interesting adaptation. It's not magic, it's alchemy. Oh, wait. I had like that thought process and I stopped there. I was like, oh, I'm an idiot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's seriously an interesting take on it.
Yeah, no, I thought it was very interesting. I don't quite understand how it's linked to S.T.A.R, but
Oh,
I think it's his prison.
didn't they say earlier in the during the whole that S.T.A.R was the first meta to get power, and it was from the stone?
I don't know. I don't think they said it was from the stone.
yeah, I'm not sure. I don't necessarily think it was from the stone, but
I remember a scene, and Aubrey was saying that he thinks that Wally is S.T.A.R from the future, and he just got power hungry, and he's been bouncing around. But I remember a scene where it was explaining S.T.A.R from Julian's, I don't know, from his point of view and the whole story, and it showed a man holding up the stone in his hands. I mean, that's the scene my head's like replaying.
Okay. So it's either that he's trapped in the stone or he's trapped in the book. He's trapped in one of those things. Not the book, the box.
the box, yeah.
The box.
So one of those things has him trapped, or both of those things has him trapped.
Do you think it's a coincidence though that Julian was picked to play that, and you have the Sorcerer's Stone reference? Do you think it was a coincidence, or Or do you think it was kind of written for him?
I think they might have picked the legend of the Philosopher's Stone. You know, I think they might have picked that specific artifact on purpose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah. But and that whether or not Savitar gets his powers from the stone, he still claims he's a god.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and yet he needs a host. He needs somebody to talk through. He needs somebody to.
Well, we did
carry
have
him
confirmation
around,
that only speedsters can see him. That was confirmed this episode.
Yes, we did.
It was also said that he was a man, and the powers gave him godlike powers. So he's under the assumption now that he is a god.
Well,
It doesn't mean he
back
is.
whenever he got his powers, there's nobody else in the world like him.
Yeah.
So yes, it would seem like he's a god at that point.
Yeah, and
But
now
now that metas
speedsters
are all over the
threatening
place.
him, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so, yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be weird if it turns out to be somebody from the future too, where he feels like he's a god, but he got the powers in the past, and I don't know. It's gonna be weird. No matter how they spin it, it's gonna be weird.
Yeah. His look is also weird.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Very
did he
alien.
choose to look like a robot? Did he choose to look all metal, or did that just come with
Looks
the
like
package?
a cyborg dinosaur,
Kinda.
like a lizard person, like the lizard from Spider-Man.
He
No.
has those kinds of shoulders too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Does he have
Without
the
the tail.
kind of reptile leg too, where it kind of juts out and?
It feels
Or-
like he does.
No.
I don't know.
I
don't think he
haven't really
does.
looked at him from head to toe.
It just
I've
looks
only
like
really
he's
seen
got
him
giant
just torso.
calves.
Yeah. It's hard. I'm so distracted every time I see that suit, to be honest. Or
Everything's happening
whatever
so
that is.
fast too when he's on screen, so
Yeah.
it's hard to follow for us normies.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I guess. See, now I'm confused and want to watch the episode over
Yeah, well, as
because
Aubrey,
I'm unsure where his powers came from.
as Aubrey points out, it says he was the first speedster.
Yes,
Yeah.
and that's what it's saying, but that's legend too.
Yeah, it's a myth.
that's what's written on an ancient wall.
Right.
Yeah.
So if he is from their present or their future, because he said he was made by Barry, right? Doesn't he also say that?
No.
No, he said Barry has wronged him. He says Barry took something from him.
Okay.
But we're
Was
not
it
really
Julian
sure.
when he was being talked through said that that Savitar is the future Barry and he wants what Barry took from him back? Or
No,
was
he never said that he was
No.
future Barry.
there was a lot of shit happening this episode and I'm mixing it up with things.
Yeah,
I'm
somebody in
sure.
chat last week was saying, I think it may have been it was either Aubrey or Lee, I'm not sure which one, said that they thought that maybe Savitar was a future Barry.
Okay, yeah.
So
Yes, yeah, I remember that. But no, all I remember specifically was Savitar said that Barry did something. Barry and the team did something to piss him off, Barry specifically, and that Barry had taken something from him.
mm-hmm.
Whether those two are the same thing or not, it's a question for a later day.
Yeah. Brian is saying that Cisco seeing Dante made him think that Dante is Savitar. And I don't agree with that. It's the same way that Julian described that he saw his sister, right? It's the exact same way.
Yeah.
It's basically Savitar becoming your deepest kind of
Desire, or
desire,
something.
I guess, and like,
Just to see your dead sibling
Yeah.
return to you. Just
Like-
open the box and I'll come back.
yeah. So it's kind of his way of reaching out when he can't physically control people.
Yeah. which is what drew Julian to the cave in the first place to find the stone.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But yeah, Barry unmasks him, sees it's Julian, locks him up. Julian has no memory of being alchemy. He blacks out. In order for us to get that information, Barry unmasks himself for Julian. Julian's like, oh, that makes a lot of fucking sense.
Yeah.
Like,
I was
tick,
just
tick,
like,
tick.
no,
Oh,
Barry,
ding.
what are you doing?
No, he had to.
I know.
He had to do it.
I know
It's
he
the only
had
way.
to, but that was still running through my head.
But now Julian is officially part of the crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can't really be mad at that.
No.
I mean, I think he's officially part of the crew as much as,
What's the hearing thing?
yes, as much as
I know.
you know exactly who I'm talking about. Julian's
Yeah.
as much a part of the crew as that guy is.
Yeah.
I
was about to
totally
call him
forgot about him.
I was about to call him Soundwave, but that's not even close.
No, he's not a transformer.
He's not a transformer.
He's definitely not a transformer.
I'm a disgrace. I should not be hosting the show.
I mean, to
I
be
totally
fair, I
forgot
don't know
about
his
that guy
name
as well.
either, so I shouldn't be co-hosting a show.
Just so much shit that happens, guys.
It's hard to follow multiple timelines.
It is.
And especially this season of almost every one of these shows, there's so much happens every episode. I think specifically this season for Flash and Arrow, there's just been so much every episode that it has been hard to follow. And I think it was Brian in chat said something about Savitar somehow being connected to Prometheus, and I my crazy theory long ago was that who we thought was alchemy was actually Prometheus and vice versa, which is obviously not true. But it can't be a coincidence
Mm-hmm.
that these two weird masked figures show up in these two shows at the same time.
And I mean, you got Savitar, which is connected to alchemy, claiming he's a god, and isn't Prometheus in mythology as well? So I mean, you got to look at that, even if it's the smallest little dot.
Prometheus is the god who gives humans fire.
There you go.
He defies Zeus to give them fire and the ability to create things. So it's very symbolic.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think there's a chance they might be related. Not out of the realm of possibility. So I love that not only we get Jay Garrick this episode, but we get to see a little bit of Earth 3, a little bit more of Earth 3.
Yeah.
One little
The trickster.
spot. Well, yeah.
And the Trickster.
That's
Their version of the Trickster.
The jokester.
Oh. No, he said Trickster, didn't
I know, but I'm saying he's more like a cross between the Joker and the Trickster.
Mm-hmm.
Who I would have loved if they
thought
called
it
him the
was.
Jokester.
The Earth 3, I don't know if it's Earth 3 or if it's just the Trickster of Earth 3. He's very cartoony. Very old Adam West Batman with the dynamite on his chest and just it all screamed Batman to me, and I was just like, oh my god.
I was waiting for a pal.
I
no, me too.
I thought it was the Joker, because he looked like him, just like he really pale, dark lips, and just fucking crazy eyes. It's like, okay.
But the campy Adam West version,
Mm-hmm.
aha!
Yeah.
Hartley
Rathway. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you,
Hartley.
Aubrey and Brian, the Pied Piper. That's who
Thank
we
you.
were talking about before.
Yep,
That was
that's
gonna
the
bother me all episode. Yeah, but we don't even know what the hell happened to him. Is he even around after
Yes.
Flashpoint?
We can assume.
We haven't seen him.
I like him.
Yeah,
He's
well,
around.
Well, yeah, whether or not you like him does not assume that he's there after Flashpoint. We have not seen him, so I would assume he's not around. But...
Oh.
What?
Brian says that Captain Lance has also been blacking out.
That's true, yeah, on Arrow, Captain Lance
More
is
evidence,
blacking out.
yeah.
He's losing time.
More evidence that there is a connection. That would be so freaking interesting.
Or coincidence, you know, one of the two.
Yep. Nope, you're right. You're right. It could just be coincidence.
Yeah. I'm hoping it's not coincidence. I'm hoping...
Yeah.
I would love more ties to the universe.
Oh, of course. So, I forgot. I was going to say something about Jay. I forgot what it was.
He was super awesome.
He was super awesome.
I loved how he caught all the... I'm going to call him the jokester. I don't care what his name is. Love how he caught all the jokester's bullets in his hat.
Yeah. I'm going to get that hat and use it as an ashtray.
Yeah, very Adam West Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but when he came over, he was the one that kind of told the whole legend of Savitar, like, what he heard of it. And just gonna say, just because he heard that that's the way it went, does not mean that is the way it went. Savitar could be a person from the future that traveled back to the past and was the first meta-human type creature to have been that far back in the past, and would classify him as the first, but we could be completely wrong, and he may be literally the first, you know?
That's what I wanted to say. There is one Savitar in the multiverse. The way Jay was explaining it, it seems like he travels through the multiverse, keeping tabs on all the speedsters.
Yeah, he travels through the Speed Force.
Well, that's how he goes from one universe to the other.
Right, and that's how Barry goes through as well, you know?
Yeah.
And Jay and, you know, all that, so...
Mm-hmm. So that was a very interesting piece of...
Brian goes, I like what Jay said, that he had him, and Barry said, yeah, I get that a lot.
That's what I say.
That's what I say when especially when I don't have it.
Because how many times is, you know, he said that to Ollie, or like vice versa.
I could have swore he said it in the invasion episode, at least
twice. Ollie did, you're right, because Ollie was like, we had him, and he's like, no, you were about to get shot.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that like literally just happened.
Yeah.
Yep. I actually watched that episode, so I know.
Your quota of Arrow episodes for the year are done now.
Yep.
So Barry is fast enough to challenge Savitar. That's why Savitar has shown himself. And all of this, all of that stuff. Which, as Jay was explaining that, all I could think of was the Dominators. Why did the Dominators come back to Earth? Because Barry did a thing he probably shouldn't have done.
Right, and I love that they referenced, you know, the Dominators too. It was a small little thing by Joe, you know, it was like this, and then we had aliens last week. What is it this time? You know, something like that.
That was because he was pissed at Wally and HR.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. Also, in the beginning of the episode, when the woman from the DA's office was there with Joe in the precinct, she's like, I have all this alien paperwork. It's going to keep me busy for the rest of the year.
Yeah.
So the world hasn't forgotten it, and they're not gonna.
No.
They're not gonna.
No, I like that.
No. It's kind of like how you get those slight nods to the invasion in the Avengers.
Yeah.
Even throughout the universe, through like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., you get it in. We got it in Luke Cage, and yeah. So I mean, nobody's forgotten.
Yep.
No. God, I like specifically liked HR and Wally training this episode.
Yeah.
It was cute.
Because on the surface, it doesn't look like much. He's just running around in the park, but it's what Wally needs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Wally's not gonna stop, and he needs someone to tell him to be like, okay, this is how you're doing. We can still do better. Like, you're doing great. But we can
Wally has all of this energy to burn. Not only is he super optimistic and enthusiastic to help, but he literally has all this energy to burn. And if he doesn't, he will, I think he will mentally explode. And that's why he was getting so angry at everybody, because they're just not listening to him. He needs to do something.
Yeah, and then it was that talk that HR had with Joe when it's like, look, you could either embrace this and, do it, or he's going to look elsewhere, and he's going to get it elsewhere. And I don't know where this came from, but another show just did this recently, and it's bugging me. It's bugging the hell out of me. But it's like this exact, I don't know, like this exact same scenario where it's like, hey, you can help the person yourself, or someone else will do it. Or he'll do it,
The Walking Dead?
Maybe, I don't know.
I think it might have been The Walking
Was
Dead.
it?
With Chris and Fear the Walking Dead. I think we just went through that arc last season.
No, it was literally like one episode where the character had like a revelation. And it was like that exact same thing. Maybe it was even The Flash, I don't know. But
I don't know.
It could have been Arrow. It was probably Arrow, to be honest. It's probably like Ollie, like I don't even know. But like the exact same thing, and it's just like this feels like deja vu to me.
Laurel.
No, no, it was
Ollie
like within the last like
Laurel.
3 weeks.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it's similar to Laurel, where she was gonna do it whether Ollie wanted her to or not.
Yeah.
And she found a teacher that would teach her.
Yeah,
Which I need Wildcat back.
It's just like it rings so true in it. It's like, yeah, you're gonna want to do this. Maybe I feel like it was done already with Wally. Like I thought they already had this discussion with Wally. Oh no, it was Jesse. That's what it was.
Okay.
It was the Flash. It was when Jessie wanted to use her powers, and they were like, no. It was almost the exact same conversation that Joe had with Wells.
Okay. So is this another like glimpse into who HR is? Like, did HR have a daughter that went somewhere else because he tried to suppress what she could do?
I don't know. But it's funny because Joe is the one that went to Harry. Joe went to Harry and said these exact words pretty much that HR said to Joe. And that look now that I'm realizing it, that look on Joe's face was just like, I'm a hypocrite.
Yeah. Which is why in the end he gives Wally the suit.
Oh, exactly. So.
And I just found it so like annoying that while Joe was like railing on Wally, Iris was like, lay off. And I'm like, Iris, you don't get to talk because of what she said last episode. Shut up and sit down.
Yeah. I don't know. Iris just feels so out of place right now.
You see, when she's with Barry, when she's doing her reporter thing, she feels like Iris. And then this whole Ollie thing, not Ollie, oh my God. This whole Wally thing just seems so out of character for her. And I understand it's her brother, it's her little brother. Mm-hmm. She wants to protect him. But it really did feel not like Iris.
It's really weird, too, because it's her little brother that she didn't have for most of her life. It's like her little brother that just came into the picture like less than a year ago.
Do we know that for a fact that it happened like that with Flashpoint?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. All right.
Because the only thing that changed in the West's family relationship was that she was still holding on to the anger about the mother.
Yep.
And that was it.
Okay. Yeah.
Going back a little bit to Jay, the way that, and he goes, he's like, oh, I haven't fought. I feel like he said he didn't fight Savitar, right? Did
yeah,
he say
he's
those
never
words?
he's never seen, or he said he's never even heard of anybody who's seen him.
Because I'm not sure I believe that. Because the way Savitar, when he puts him down, he's like, this is not your fight, Garrick. And then leaves him. The way that line was delivered, I don't know, feels like maybe
Savitar is someone we know. And obviously knows Garrick, but Garrick doesn't know him.
Right, and I think that, like I said, I think it's somebody from the team, or like they're saying in chat. I forget who it was that said it.
Wally.
Aubrey. That it could be
Oh.
Wally, and it's seeming like that could be possible. It could be Barry. I don't know. Like, it wouldn't. Obviously, something traumatic would have to happen, and it would be some weird corrupted version of Barry that is just like trying to sever all ties with himself, kind of thing. It's possible because we've seen what power and whatever magic especially does to people, and how it corrupts them. So we can't rule Barry out just because we see Savitar kill Iris. We cannot rule the fact that that's Barry out. It could be Wally, it could be Jesse. Doesn't necessarily have to be a guy. Just because we saw, what we saw.
Just because it's Tobin Bell.
Yeah, just because it's Tobin Bell, and just because we saw the image of a man holding the stone up. That's the way the legend is told. That doesn't mean that that's what actually happened. Legends get altered. You ever play the Whisper game?
Oh God, yeah.
In not the
Telephone,
one with the telephone, or when I went to school, it was called like something, the Johnny Appleseed thing or whatever, where you tell somebody, you whisper something to somebody, and you literally filter it around the entire classroom, and then you have what the last person said was, and then you try to find where that link was broken. Somebody misheard it wrong, and it spread, and it's so different from what it originally heard. It's the same thing. Legends happen the exact same way.
Yeah.
They get altered over time.
Or purposely altered if you're Walt Disney.
Or any storyteller looking to make a point.
Yeah.
Yes.
Even history books are altered because of the person who's writing the history book.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah,
it
no.
doesn't meet with the original author's, view with the story was told. Like, you even go and look at like a movie like Dogma, for an example, with you hear, it's not true, but I'm just, like the movie Dogma, where they're talking about Rufus, the 13th apostle, and his reason for existing, and saying, why I wasn't in the history books? Because I wasn't a white man following Jesus, and I was written out of the history books because I was a white man, I was a black man. Always got to keep a brother down. And that's just looking at it from perspective in those times, if that was true, which it's not. That was a character made up for the movie. But I could easily see it being done that way,
Yeah.
That's just how stories, legends, and actual facts go down through perception and stuff over time.
I really love how they used Julian to talk to Savitar.
Oh, that was great.
Whole sequence.
I just imagine like Tobin Bell watching the Harry Potter guy on the big screen. Like, you ever see Mrs. Doubtfire with Robin Williams? And Robin Williams at the beginning of the movie is voicing the cartoon bird, and he's trying to like match the lips up. That's what I just envisioned Tobin Bell doing, just staring at a giant projection screen of the Harry Potter dude and just like trying to match it exactly.
Yeah.
It's just it's fantastic.
That's what they do. That's how they do ADR. It's not always.
It could be the other way around sometimes.
No, I know, but in my imagination, it has to be the giant screen. It's just my imagination.
And usually with that stuff, it is easier to have whoever's doing the mouth. Is it? Wait. I don't know. Because in animation, you have the voices first, and then you animate.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how they would have done that scene.
Yeah, it'd be...
Probably they would have had...
It could have gone either way, to be
honest. You've called him Draco this whole time, and now I can't think of the actor's name.
I've called him the Harry Potter dude, because I couldn't even... I've never actually watched Harry Potter. I've seen, like, one of the movies, so I can't remember the name Draco for my life.
Tom Felton. Jesus, there we go.
Yeah.
Mr. Felton.
Yeah, Felton probably did it first, and then Tobin voiced over it.
Yeah.
But...
Yeah, that scene was chilling.
Yeah. And they made the most, besides the Philosopher's Stone, they made the most Harry Potter move they could have made. They gave us a prophecy.
Yeah. But I just loved, after that scene was over, HG running out. Oh, that gave me chills. That was the creepiest thing. Does anybody else creeped out? Like...
Oh, my
I can go
absolute
get a
favorite part
coffee.
about him freaking out. I need a mint tea, a coffee, and a lay down. So funny.
Oh, I love it.
HR, God, HR is like flawless. I will be so unhappy if like he turns out to be a dick
Yep,
for whatever
me
reason.
too. I'm hoping they keep him like this, and it's
He's
the rest of the
Savitar.
team that turns into assholes.
He's Savitar from the future.
May or may not be the case. So the prophecy is one shall die, one shall betray the rest, and one shall suffer fate worse than death. Who's who?
Well, we know one of them.
We think we know one of them.
Iris.
But you're right. Yes. No. What I mean is, in the end, it might not be Iris who dies.
Right.
But S.T.A.R is obviously speaking from he knows that scene is going to play out. He knows he kills Iris.
Right.
I feel like the CW has used a prophecy much like this in one of their other shows. Maybe it was last season.
Oh, on the originals? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are completely different writers, so it's not like they're comparing notes. Or
No,
anything.
I know, but I mean, they're both on the CW, so I had to make a little stab at that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hate to say this. I honestly think Caitlyn's going to be the one to suffer a fate worse than death, because let's face it, the one who's like fucking suffered the most is Caitlyn.
She's already been suffering a fate worse than death from the
I
very
know.
get-go.
It can always get worse.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
And
think
that's going to suck for her.
I think Savitar may be using one of those prophecies to talk about somebody becoming Savitar.
Mm-hmm.
That may be the fate worse than death. That may be a curse. That
I think the betrayal is going to be who is S.T.A.R.
Yeah.
Who's behind the mask. If that is a mask, we still don't know if like that's his body or if like there's something under there.
Yeah. I feel like Savitar itself is the fate worse than death, because it's like he's existed forever, kind of immortal. You know, he could be time traveling, and that could be the reason why he appears in all of time, whatever. Or he could actually be immortal, and he's just suffered forever and ever, and he's trying to find a way to stop himself, or I don't know. That could be the fate worse than death. Could be. It could be the betrayal as well. And either way, I think one of them is Wally. One of the prophecies is Wally, for sure.
Yeah. And here I am praying that none of them are Cisco.
No, Cisco is too precious. He's a muffin. None of that can happen to him.
Sweet cinnamon roll.
I think Barry is the fate worse than death.
Probably.
Because he'd lose everybody.
Yeah.
If he's alone. And he's got no one.
But then what would become of the Flash CW series if everything was done for
He'll become
Barry?
Ollie. The transformation will be complete, and he'll just be grumpy all the time.
No. Then he goes back in time and fixes it, and everything's back to normal.
Oh, shut up! No.
We already
everything's back to normal with like terrible stuff.
As much as you guys are like, no, don't do it. You know he's going to go back in time again and fix it. Like this is not the timeline that's gonna stick. It's not.
That's the thing. I do not think he's going backwards anymore. I think the fact that he's been forwards in time means he's going to start trying to go forward instead of backwards.
And changing things before they happen.
Yes.
Barry.
Which is going to have worse repercussions than changing the past.
Barry.
So okay. Let's talk about the throwing the box in the time force.
Why would you ever do this?
Okay, hold on. It's not a bad idea in theory.
It
because
is the
when you
worst
look at
idea in theory. You know for a fact that Reverse Flash Eobard is running around through the same fucking thing that you're throwing the box into.
They don't know that.
Yes, he told Barry, "I'll be back. I will see you later." And he ran off.
He knows that he's traveling through the time force. He'd just be
He's
fucking
a
around.
speedster. He goes through the time force. That's how he got there in the first place. Barry knows he uses the speed force.
Yeah, but I honestly don't think Barry's given him another thought. Because he's thinking that, Eobard doesn't have his speed like in there's no reason he should think any different. Honestly, what I was disappointed in is that S.T.A.R didn't say anything. That he's running around in the past, fucking up shit. Like, that's a speedster. They know it's a speedster. I don't know who it is, but Barry's a speedster. I think that should have been some intel to share.
Not just Sarah, but any of the legends, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was really confused when you're like, yeah, Sarah. And I'm like sitting there going, Sarah wasn't in this episode. And then when you explained it, I was like, yeah. Nobody said anything. Yeah. The whole legends.
Yeah, nobody said a thing. Exactly. I mean, yes, they had things to do, but you had a party afterwards. Plenty of time to tell them.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the way that Cisco explained it, he's like, Jumanji, you can't just, put it back.
Bury it.
Yeah, you can't just bury it.
Somebody's going to dig it up and play it.
Yeah. So they put it, I guess, in a place where the least amount of people in the world are able to dig it up from.
Yeah, only Jesse and Barry and
Wally and Jay
and Reverse Flash.
Eobard.
Yeah, only those people. And S.T.A.R himself.
But S.T.A.R's stuck in the box.
Yeah,
S.T.A.R can't do anything while he's in the box. He needs somebody to open it for him.
Couldn't Cisco, open a breach to a known void and just throw it in there?
I think finding a void is less easy than you think it is.
That's why I said known.
And any Earth you put it on, S.T.A.R can travel back. It doesn't matter. So
as long as there is a person there for him to control, for them to open the box.
They would literally have to launch a rocket into space that was aimed at a black hole and hope that the Dominators didn't intercept the rocket on the way to the black hole.
But even then, there's a chance that a wormhole could send you to another dimension where there are people who will open the box.
if the black hole is in fact a wormhole.
Yes, exactly. But still,
shoot it into the sun. There we go.
But the question that nobody mentioned, which I thought of when they said destroy the box, I'm like, what if destroying the box breaks the seal and then S.T.A.R's free forever?
Yeah.
Which is what I think would happen if they destroyed the box.
Yeah.
But anyway, Barry comes back from seeing the future, and Jay is like, you've been to the future. And it's like, Jay was not phased at all at the fact that he went to the future. And Barry's just like, what?
I've never done that. As fast as I've run, I've always just come back to the present.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
Which is why I think Barry's gonna start trying to go in the future. And Jay sounds like he's speaking from experience when he says speedsters should not go into the future.
Speedsters shouldn't go into the past. They should go in the future. You know what? They should just sit at the McDonald's drive-thru and just eat French fries all day long. They wouldn't hurt anybody doing that.
Speedsters should just stop.
Stop moving.
Exactly.
Stop moving.
Stop.
Just stand still.
Yeah.
Don't save anybody.
Yeah, I thought that was a little weird that Jay kind of just knew he was in the future.
Yeah, and exactly where and when, in the future.
Yeah.
It seems like Jay's been poking around a bit. You weren't supposed to see that, Barry.
Yeah, Jay knows more than he's saying.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we even when we saw him before, and was it episode 1?
Mm-hmm.
He was kind of high and mighty, like, oh, this shouldn't have happened, Barry. I know exactly what you did, kind of thing. So.
I love that Barry's reasoning is, we'll just not go on that street ever.
Just not go out that night. Like,
Yeah, because that'll fix it.
Yeah.
No.
A guy that's able to move is just going to be waiting on that one street for you, and only that street. And if you're not there, it's never going to No. And what's probably going to happen is gets taken to that street, and Barry has no choice but to go,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I mean, all we can do is wait to find that out.
How far into the future did they say that was, 6 months?
something like that.
Yeah, I think.
For 4 to 6 months, I think it was. So
Oh, really?
That would explain
Yeah.
the article from the invasion episode where Iris wasn't the journalist who wrote the article.
yeah,
because
for
that's
sure.
in less than 10 years now. 7 years.
But it still explains it. She's dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
You know. Yeah.
So
But
After
as
their-
Jay points out, though, it is a possible future.
yes,
That does not mean it is the future. That does not mean Iris is going to die.
Mhm.
That means if everything goes the way it goes without Barry knowing that Iris is going to die, and without changing anything because of what Barry knows, that Iris will die. That's definite. But if there are decisions and everything that they do from here on changes, which it's going to happen because Barry has information now, so everything is not going to go the same way in which he saw.
but how do you know that what the Barry that he saw 6 months from now didn't have that information that he has now?
Because I see that as the future that's happening, not the future that, like, it's the course projected future. Where, yeah, I mean, I guess it could, but I feel like just having knowledge of that is never going to make it be that.
I do agree. I don't think that Iris is going to be the one to die.
I mean, when Savitar said it, he was totally talking about Iris. 100%.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I think the prophecy is going to remain intact. It's just going to be somebody else. Because Barry's probably going to spend way too much time invested in protecting Iris that it leaves somebody else vulnerable.
Yes. Yep. But we can't rule out the fact that it might be a That's So Raven issue, where no matter what he tries to do to prevent it from happening, Iris still dies.
Yeah.
That could definitely still be the future.
And
At least we're not
Lee Silver in
dabbling in the
chat. But we
past
want
and,
Iris to die.
No,
don't.
Lee, this is different than Laurel, okay? We don't want Iris to die. We just want her to be gone.
All right, that's it. Everybody out of my podcast.
Well, one final thing, and Brian brings up a good point.
No, I have a couple more things.
Okay, well, Brian brings up a really good point. If Barry went back to change the past, how come the legends didn't detect the anomaly?
Yeah.
I think time aberrations have to do with traveling through time in a manner similar to the Wave Rider. Using the Speed Force to travel through time, I do not think creates detectable anomalies for Gideon.
Well, if that is the case, then everything that Eobard's been doing should be undetectable.
I think Eobard's giving pushes to the right people to
Exactly.
make changes.
Eobard's not really doing stuff. He's
not really getting
people-
his hands in there.
He's telling people like Dark, he's like pushing them in different directions than their history dictated.
Yeah.
It's not like, because Eobard wasn't supposed to be back in that time to begin with. So he pops in, tells Dark to do something Dark wouldn't have done if Eobard hadn't have showed up, and that's the anomaly.
I don't know. I would love to see the legends have to go back and stop Barry from doing something.
I would actually love that too. It's not out of the question yet.
Either. Right, it's definitely not. But for that to happen, Barry has to go back in time and change something else.
Yeah.
Yep.
So do it, Barry.
So after their talk with Savitar, after the his whole speech and shit, I have so many questions. And one of them is, what the hell was he preparing the world for? Because now it seems like he's not got this grander scheme. It's just he wants revenge from Barry. What is he preparing the world for?
Whatever Barry's message to the legends were.
Yeah. And
it's got to be
50 something.
Oh, it's definitely connected. Otherwise, they wouldn't have brought it up at the crossover and got the Flash community involved in something going on Legends. It's definitely related. I do not find it coincidence that Barry's message shows up the same time as Savitar and Alchemy and all that. Like, they're connected. And we know that something that Barry does to Savitar in the future could be 40 years in the future.
Could be.
Right? It doesn't just because Savitar's going back and attacking Barry in Barry's present right now, us as a viewer are present, does not mean that Barry didn't fuck him over 40 years from now.
Yeah.
I definitely think that's the case.
And that is the case, with Eobard too, where it is future Barry that, who goes through time to Eobard's, time.
Let's not rule out the fact that Savitar could be Eobard.
It could be a different version of Eobard, yeah. I think that would be odd.
Maybe.
It's definitely odd. That would mean we have two Eobards running around through time at the moment. We have Eobard and Savitar Eobard.
Well, we have multiple wells, so it's not that crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely not.
So, on to the Christmas part of this episode. I thought the whole Grandma Eggnog off was delightful.
Oh, that's beautiful. I was like, you do not mess with Grandma Esther. Don't even try. I don't care about Grandma Millie. Do not care.
Mm-mm.
It's all about Grandma Esther
all the way.
Yep.
And I like the final consensus was, wow, our grandmothers were alcoholics. Like, no, which one is better? No, which one tastes different? No.
Nope.
Our grandmothers were alcoholics.
Yep. It was perfect. And seeing
HR loved every second of it.
Oh,
seeing HR
so
drunk was amazing.
Oh my god. Kid Flash! Oh,
So we're gonna go with that. That's what we're calling me?
Yeah, it is. I'm so happy that Wally's got a suit. He's gonna run around as Kid Flash now. Joe might get off his back a little bit, hopefully. So.
Yeah, no, I think he is. I think when HR basically, without knowing, called Joe a hypocrite, I think that was the moment where Joe was like, yeah.
Yeah. And Julian comes. Everyone was like, oh, Julian's not going to come. Even after Caitlin invited him. But he comes, and he nice with Barry, and I was like, listen, man, bromance is real, and I love it.
I don't know. I think I saw a little spark between him and Caitlin.
Who?
Julian and Caitlin.
Oh yeah, no, I think so too.
So this is further going to prove, though.
Completely different.
This is further going to prove he lied about having a girlfriend.
What do you mean?
He had one in the flashback, didn't he?
No.
Well, we don't know who she was really, and she's dead now.
Yeah, all those people are dead, but the episode where Wally got taken and became, the cocoon, he said, "Oh no, I have plans with my girlfriend tonight," and he didn't.
He was alchemy that night.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that actually could have been part of his blackout.
It could have been, yeah.
Where that was Savitar using him.
Mm-hmm.
Because we see also him in the lab when he opens the drawer, sees the mask, and presumably he's also in a trance then where he doesn't remember that he took the mask out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, that could have been just Savitar using him as a meat puppet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure.
And I like that Caitlin gave them snow.
Caitlin Snow gave them snow?
Yeah.
I know someone up in chat said, what's the deal with people wanting white Christmases? It's just symbolic. It makes you feel like it's the holidays. And
snow is magical.
Yeah, that's basically it. There's nothing more
Unless
to it.
you live in, California.
Yeah.
And then snow is a sign of the apocalypse.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Same with Florida,
Mm-hmm. Well, Hawaii
got snow, good. Time to get into my shelter.
Yeah. Every once in a while it snows in Florida. And when it does, they don't know what to do.
I don't blame them. I wouldn't know what to do either.
No, it's just they're not prepared for that. They don't have snow plows and salt for the roads and things. They're not prepared for it. So it's really bad. It's something to be concerned with when it snows down there. You don't want to be out driving. It's not hey, we're from New England. We're used to snow. Suck it up, everybody else. No, we're used to driving where the roads are plowed and there's sand and salt and stuff on the road. It's not like that there.
But it is fun to laugh at them a little bit.
A little bit. A little bit.
A little bit. So this is the mid-season finale. I've got nothing to talk about for our next episode because that's coming back at the end of January.
Right, the 23rd, I think it was?
24th.
Yeah.
24th. And I just want to say, in a time in which we're so focused on everything has to be politically correct and it's got to be happy holidays and everything, it's kind of refreshing to just get, hey, a Christmas episode. And I'm hoping, have not watched Arrow or anything like that, but I'm hoping that Arrow does something similar and it's like, hey, here's a Hanukkah episode. I would love to see things like that where they don't encumber all of the holidays into one and just say, hey, happy holidays, guys, but actually focus on the holidays. It's refreshing when we get something like that because it's not the norm anymore.
Yeah. And we definitely got that last year with Felicity, who brought a little Hanukkah into the holiday party.
Yeah.
But especially now we have another Jewish character on the team that I hope it gets a bit more spotlight.
Yeah.
Which would be great.
Yeah, and I'm like, don't get me wrong, I celebrate Christmas. I'm not being biased though. I'm just, oh yeah, Christmas episode, great job, guys. No, like to be honest, I would love like a Kwanzaa episode, mainly because I don't know much about Kwanzaa and stuff like that. We don't really have the right cast in any of the shows to pull that off effectively, but I know like when Nickelodeon did it way back when with the Rugrats and stuff like that. That was one of my favorite episodes because I get to learn something about a holiday that I don't really get. And I know Christmas is main, like the big one that everybody kind of gets shoved down their throat. But, it's been a long time since I can remember a show getting a Christmas episode, not a holiday episode. So I do want more though. Yeah. I would love more holidays.
I agree. Dom, where can people find you?
You can find me down below at Phenomedom, PHENOMEDOM.
Phenomedom.
Do.
Nikki, where can they find you?
You can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
And you can find me at Clio Moto, and you can find all of us at ASOTV Podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, and right here on YouTube. Follow us for some more podcasts from some of your favorite TV shows, video games, and movies. Until next time. Bye, guys.
January
next year
in 2017.
Yeah. See you guys next year. So far away. It's like a whole year away. Or maybe 23 days. 24.
Maybe.